Pair it back up. I'm pretty sure we're live here, YouTube. And we have 4% battery on this, so my guess is it's probably gonna die. I can't. It runs on that program. Let me talk. It runs on this program.
I know, but it's gonna fall halfway and we're gonna have to pick it up.
Hey, dude, that's part of the thing, dude. Part of it. Good timing. Start live. Instagram. I'm gonna see if I can get a cord for it. I think it's this one, actually. Can I unhook this water cooler? That's like not gonna do it.
Yeah. So you're gonna sit?
Dude, stop moving. I'm like organizing everything for where I'm sitting.
I know, I'm trying to say you're gonna sit right here, so I'm making sure you're in the view. I didn't know we were live, bro. I just burped.
That's fine, we're live.
Yeah, you know, you should always give somebody a heads up that you're going live.
I did.
On that one.
All right, good news. We are charging.
All right.
And live here. How are we doing over there?
I think it's good.
Ugh, my legs hurt. Yeah, you see the music off. You want to bring her into the podcast?
Yeah.
No, that's not how it's gonna work, huh? Learning what? That sound. I want you guys to know we have Instagram live going over here. Facebook live here, and today, as always, we'll try to give you guys as much coverage as we possibly can. This is how. Hey guys, welcome to This Is How You Gym. You are here with Big Daddy Mac and
Mr. Eco.
And always, we are coming to you guys unedited, unfiltered, and live. You guys can always watch past game. This is where you're gonna find us. So. Before we kind of get into it, we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship in the fitness industry. Eco's going to kind of tell you, I think, well, get into it. Tell us what happened yesterday.
Oh, I was like, what story? Oh, okay. So, it's around, okay, we've kind of established the rules that nobody locks up the chains.
Except for me.
Except for one person who opens the gym on Saturday morning, which is cool, appreciated. And then we're here around 9 o'clock trying to find this key. And then finally get in contact with him, and he is, in the concert, explaining himself for why he's sorry for leaving the key in his pocket. He's 100% sure it's in there. And so Kenny and I are just posted up, just trying to figure out how that was sitting at the bar. Kenny was closing, but he hit me up, and I was sitting at the bar, and I don't get a lot of chances to go out. I'm getting to know her, and then all of a sudden I get a text from Kenny saying, hey, Mac over here took it with him back, but then I never went back.
Frustrated when he came in this morning, to tell you the truth. So, talking the other day, this kind of was a stack of cash down, and they're driving their lane than we are. But yeah, they're doing something. But we want to talk about it, man. I mean, this is a serious issue. We're in the fitness industry, and it's real, dude. So tell us.
It's all this fucking media bullshit. Like, oh, hey, you want to make 10,000 on this day? Okay, well, how do I know you just didn't fucking go and one time withdraw 10,000 glamorous lifestyle as an entrepreneur? Which is not fucking true. It's not. I mean, in the beginning, it's not. The first 3 years.
This is really like, if you're like I don't want to say a true entrepreneur, but at least you don't have an endowment. You don't have, you didn't save up $250,000 on your own or whatever. We're out here starting from having to find investors, having to find everything from scratch. So this is definitely, this is our perspective, what we think true entrepreneurship is.
I think that we should have a distinct definition between actual entrepreneurship, where you're from scratch, brick and mortar, and social media entrepreneurship, where it's like, hey, I can just take a selfie and get this nice little angle, and then I'm a television. You're just selling someone else's fucking bullshit. So you're not an entrepreneur. I'm sorry. You're just gonna have that, but that's for meantime. Just wait until the next youngster comes through, and then all of a sudden it bumps you down, and then they're gonna start looking at their stuff. So you're only in the meantime. You're just like a professional athlete. Let's just think of it that way. But then the moment that unfortunately you start to age, and some other youngster comes in and takes you out of your place, out of your contract, well, guess what? Now you're gonna have to go find a real fucking job, because
you're not the owner of the team.
Yeah. So it was we're looking at the short-term and long-term effects of those type of businesses, and you got between 5 to maybe 8 years to be in that, and then all of a sudden you're out of your prime, and someone else in the boot you. Fucking social influencers. Influencers, what they are, not entrepreneurs, influencers. So they should change their little fucking hashtag on there and say influencer.
Our business.
Yeah.
You know, we love influence, but obviously we're going to talk specifically about the fitness industry. Because before we kind of get into it, I do want to say, what one is this? How the logo went into the mirror. Yeah. I just want to say I'm out of here.
Yeah, so let's get into it, what the differences are. Influencers get paid right off the bat. If I get it, it's a tough job saying, hey, I can promote your product because I got 10,000 followers or 5,000, whatever, or in the 20,000.
Yeah, 20.
Entrepreneurship is one that's sacrificing 20 hours of the day, eating maybe 1 hour in there just to schedule, and then sleeping for about 3 hours, because you're focusing everything else on the gym or on whatever you're doing, for instance, whatever your business is, but you're building it from the ground up. And so a lot of people don't see or notice, like, we slept here for
and we're gonna get into that. The problem is that they're very similar, right? In some respects, because we have to promote the business, we have to. So there's very similar things that reach over, where I think people think like, oh well, there's 50 things that make an entrepreneur, and I do 10 of them, so that makes me an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
And sure, it is.
I think that we use that term so loosely, though, that it no longer entrepreneurship now is just like, hey, I'm doing something on social media, I'm an entrepreneur. Like, different types of entrepreneurship are.
Right,
I think that's what we're looking at now.
I'm gonna get into these stories is that you can take a photo and not be at the gym, because if we're not at the gym, we're not open. Ollie, I guess, a brick and mortar business and things like that. For the most part, we have a great team that helps with everything, but I have to be here to do it. Like, you can't, I'm not gonna be able to film these guys in their fucking people. We do photo shoots. We allow people to come train here for free in exchange of kind of promotions, things like that, right? We the influencers to build this business, right? And that's the distinct difference. So let's get into some of the stories, right? We love what we're doing. We love building business.
Now.
And we're moving, which we got laughed at about a lot.
Yeah.
Which, you guys want to open a gym? Yeah. You guys check out, it's probably on our Instagram, definitely on our Facebook, the small, 200 square inches of turf.
It was, I think less than that.
Right, of turf, right?
Yeah.
And that's really where we started. And you look at that, you're like, oh, you guys are a gym. Wow, super cool, right? You're training people outside, right? But the thing was, that was where the entrepreneurship really started, right? We're out there, we're bringing
it fucking happen.
Yeah, we're bringing professional photographers out. We're trying to get people out there who are into the fitness industry. We're already some community, and that's where we started. And now, I would say that was the very start of it, and I wouldn't say we're fully in entrepreneurship yet. We were still kind of doing things. We were still getting things.
We're still learning.
Yeah, we're still learning. When we got into this location, right? That's when it really started. That's when it really got into it, right? That's when I would come back, and all of a sudden there'd be drop. Let's talk about that beginning and what that really took. And
actual, getting down and getting dirty and doing everything ourselves to do this. So we asked a lot of our friends for favors, and that's something that's our story really. A lot of our buddies are things that we've done.
Right. And shout out to Sigma Pi International, right? Amazing support from our community, right? Our friends, people that we never really thought would want to help us, and then people who we knew would help us who went, amazingly. Guys need we'd come back and we'll talk about one of our brothers, Derek, and just I swear every single time I came back here there was something new. something new, something done, something finished that Derek did, you know. Entrepreneur in the fitness industry was networking and asking for favors and being out in the community, right? That was like, and that's not an easy thing to do. You don't have to do that really, you know, and to be an influencer, right? But you do have to do that, right? And you guys have seen, we had shelving all upstairs, we had shelving downstairs, and it was all just cement. And you know, that was really, I think, the first step that we took in,
I guess, material that we had here, and then seeing, okay, well, this is the shit. Every week we changed it, and we're still changing it. So it's like, you know, we're constantly, like we had to get out there, we had to shake hands, we had to introduce ourselves, we had to go do everything from scratch. Things we were, you know, throwing out things, we were setting up, you know, like a lot of the stuff. We covered, yeah. So it's like we made a lot of mistakes, but we learned a lot. But a lot of times, like, God, it's overnight. No, that took, you know, 6 weeks just to get done. Or that project, the bathroom took, you know, 2 weeks because we busted the pipe, and then we had to lay down the tile.
I think the two biggest you'd be like, oh, whatever. Like, that took us so much time. One was the mats.
Yeah.
Right. The mats. People don't understand these mats through 3 or 4 different locations
To get them on.
To get all
of them. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a cool whatever mats, but like it was ridiculous. I was like, oh, dude, those would probably take like 2-3 hours to put in, whatever. It took us 20 hours. Not like a day. It literally took us 20 hours to do. We did probably 10 Home Depot runs. We did from drill bits. It was like insane because none of the specs are lining up. We're drilling into these like
concrete cylinder.
Yeah, the concrete walls. Like none of it's lining up, right? So you walk in here now and you see 3 racks and you're like, no, whatever. But for us, we're like, dude, right? And for us, that's really where it started to build for us. Where it was like, you know, all right, we need to put in these racks. What can we do to like build this business that it's gonna work? Who can we start talking to now before we even open, networking, and being in here, right? And actually putting stuff in and building stuff and, you know, getting everything. Like that's really, I think, what it takes and what.
Nobody would give us the time of day because they're like, oh, I never heard of this gym. I never heard of this concept.
Well, and
like,
it's a gym.
Yeah,
so.
It's a gym. Everyone's attitude towards us changed and like, hey, I want to sit down with you.
It's changed, but it was still kind of.
I mean, it got better, but then now it's like...
It's not where it is today.
Yeah, now it's like, Sacramento Eco Fitness now. We're like, okay. Still, we didn't just appear out of nowhere and all of a sudden, like, we had what we have today. No. It was a lot of work, a lot of time went into it, a lot of no's, for just a lot of work. And a lot of man hours, and a lot of lonely nights, a lot of top ramen and coffee.
Well, it's funny, too, because, like really, you know, excluding maybe Brandon... maybe they're the only ones that really see how much like someone like Jose works because Jose's really here all the time, right? And then I always follow us. Like last night I was at the Dirks Bentley concert, right?
Yeah.
Right, and I work 7 days a week. You know, it's Sunday. We're working right now. You know, Jose works 7 days a week, but you know, Jose went to Pismo and we've gone to Tahoe. You know, and the funny thing is like people see that and they're like, oh, these guys aren't, you know, really working, whatever, blah blah. I'm like, dude, like. We took 6 hours off, but we literally have worked every single day. Some days we work 20 hours, right? But you gotta find.
But, I mean, you go back to Zion or Yosemite when we went. We literally left after we closed the gym, a few hours off just to relax. If you call it that. So
that means, but that plays in, you know. Like we'll see where we are in 10 years. But you drive a Crown by choice, but you know what I mean, like. And I didn't have an AC. Drove in 110 degree weather for 15 hours. We left when it was late. You know what I mean? We leave when it's late.
Really,
we do our best.
What is on the calendar? If we talk about trying to do anything, it's like, okay, everything revolves around the calendar. But, you know, it is, yeah. You're always traveling, you're always doing this. Yeah, that traveling is not fun because you're sitting at the airport working on a presentation, working on paperwork, and then... So you're working the whole way. Yeah, you get to sit down on a plane and go to another place. And it's going to different places and we're doing all this stuff, but it's work. It's not like I can sit down.
Right. I mean, even when we went to Ursa last year, right? We were there for 4 days. It was a lot of gym for me, but if you're gonna grab beer, you're gonna grab beer, whatever. But you know, Jose and myself, so you guys can really see photos with our business cards there. You know, it wasn't just like, oh, that's a cool scenery. It was where and what we're living and things like that.
Yeah, we want to share the experience too, because I mean, in the beginning process, to where it can be one day. Just follow it all the way through. Just think of it as an opportunity. Bare walls and bare empty lot to what it is, what it's gonna be. It's another idea as to what it is. All the traveling, a lot of everything just to even get to where I went into it, and that's why I think just have that frustration when you see all these entrepreneurs post all this shit on Instagram and Facebook about like this glorious lifestyle, being able to drive everywhere. Yeah, maybe they've done that work already and they just didn't show it beforehand. Because I've had a couple friends saying, hey, I want to start a business and I want to do this and that. I was like, I get it. Okay, yeah, you're motivated into it. And you got to think about the big picture. Okay, you're starting a business. What is the business going to be and what's that niche? But then you also think about, okay, what's all the money you have, every penny, to put it towards your business. Because every time you spend $1, that's $1 that could have gone through for social media ads. And then your family is going to stick around when you're no longer, or you do have money, but that money needs to be redirected into the business now. So it's a lot of frustration. A lot of people don't understand for a good portion of the time, and I mean still to this day, now by choice because he's scared of leaving his vehicle here alone, unattended. But we were sleeping here at the gym every fucking day. We didn't have a choice. And so I take a shower in the morning because we was reek because of how hot it was at night. And then, we set up a kitchen.
Entrepreneur hobos.
Like the only reason it was acceptable is because we were starting the business.
Yeah, picture it in your head. But like at the time, we would rotate through it. The mats, the mats that you guys do crunches on, I'll sleep on a mat. Yeah. Or he would sleep on a mat and I'll sleep on a hammock.
Because we had a couch.
Dude, it was like, after like a couple months, you're like, oh, all right, like this sucks, but whatever. We're only sleeping like 4 hours anyway, so like I'll like go through it. But yeah, dude, we're sleeping stupid hot. There's like, I don't know, maybe 3 months of the year where it's kind of bearable in here. But even right now, when it's 60 degrees outside, it stays pretty warm in the gym.
Yeah.
The other flip side is the cold.
Yeah.
Right? The cold is the worst.
It was just like unbearably hot, or cold, sorry. And that the only way we could survive was to drink some liquor beforehand to stay warm. And then
the fire thing.
Yeah.
We're like pretty much putting our lives in jeopardy.
Realize that, if we're this cold, obviously the people around us that are sleeping outside are this cold too. We started collecting warm clothing and we went out and we, gave hot chocolate and hot soup. Same thing. Thankfully we're indoors and we didn't get if we're suffering, they're suffering. So that humbled us in the fact that we were able to realize, okay, we can do something. We're in an opportunity to do something good. So we took that chance and we started, or that opportunity, we started doing something good for our neighbors.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
So yeah, it was bad. Like there was one night where we slept in the bathroom. Like
3 of us. This for months. We've already sweated out, and because we didn't open until December, which means that we were sleeping here, in July all the way to December. Cold. It was so bad. Cold. Like you could have warm clothes on, it was still super cold. And there's 3 of us trying
to test it out.
She didn't last.
Yeah.
We did, and we got undone.
No, I don't know how, dude.
We don't know. Or it was blowing cold air. There's no way to know, right? There's no way to know. But at some point, in the middle of the night, at some point, it was blowing cold air.
No, and then because it stopped working for him, so then because he had it pointed toward himself, and then he turns it around towards me. But those are the things that people don't see or understand, and that's what
he's in the process of getting his pilot license. Super jealous of this guy.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. I really wish I could be living that life.
But yeah, like it's there's a lot of work that goes into it, and a lot of like man hours that just you just gotta really want it, and you gotta be really willing to sacrifice, be really working. Like, and if I could go back and think about it and do it all over again, I would have given up my apartment to sell faster and then opened earlier.
Right. When we finally find that forward with us, we're that's where we're gonna be. I mean, we're trying to push this through, but everything's a learning experience. We have flights booked.
Dude.
We're ready to come back.
Yeah, Ursa.
Everything was good to go.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we're sitting down with our investor and we're like, hey, and we need to go hustle. We need to see what we can do. And we need to buy some stuff next. And we had this long meeting and we finally buy it, make it happen.
Dude, we ran around everywhere. So we split up and he's buying things, I'm buying things. And then we realized, okay, well, we're buying different things. We should probably just stick together. so that we don't buy the same shit, you know. So we went around, started hustling. We were like, hey, how much for this bar? Hey.
I really want, but those is like trophies.
Yeah.
Next year, dude, I'm gonna get them.
But you know, so we were running around trying to figure out like, okay, who has what that we need, and we started putting it all together. And then next thing you know, it's like, okay, we bought.
It never occurred to me that we were gonna have to bring it back.
Yeah.
I thought, ship it or something.
Yeah.
Maybe?
No.
Well, and the funny thing is, we were like, all right, like let's go get lunch, right? So we're going to get lunch. We're like, we just got in. I'm on the phone. I'm calling all these different places. Like, hey, what can you do for us? What can you do for us? And I know, like, trying to find the best deal, right? And we finally like walked.
Ended up going to get it, and then, you know, right off the bat, it's not in the best. I should have done that earlier, and I thought about it too. Possible, but those are one of the things that we learned. It's like, hey, okay, so they're cheap. Just so you guys know, never buy the weights at full price. Go to the X price minus another 50%. So it's like even better. So we had to go borrow tools, and then we had to figure out how to get this stuff all from different sides of the area and put it all together in one spot. So we ended up, after the show,
really allowed to do, right? It was like pretty, like, I guess, illegal for that show. You're not allowed to just move your stuff and things like that. And
you had to pay for the foreman.
Yeah, we were like, fuck it.
But you had to pay for every spot, and we mind you this, we bought things at like 10 different spots. And then we found crates and we put them on a crate.
Stole crates.
And then we did steal crates. And then we found a little wagon, and we put the wagon.
That was falling apart.
Yeah, it was falling apart. And all together, it was a mess. But we ended up like being able to stack everything. And
the hard thing too is we bought stuff without even really knowing the dimensions of the gym.
Yeah.
Like if you guys come in here and you see our body solid cable machine, I wanted it.
Yeah.
And we were like, dude, they want it. We need to get it for them. And we lucked out that it barely fits in a spot.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got like 1 inch of clearance.
Yeah. So and we had to take tops off for it to work. So.
Yeah.
Either way, but
nobody wanted to help us. All the foremen are tearing down. So, you know, and then we have this huge power rack that was connected to like all the weight so that, you know, we can even lift it. And then once we got all 4 pallets set up, I think we actually probably had 5.
Oh, we had
And then we had to find a foreman that was willing to go and, you know, lift our thing up and take it out. Yep. So we had to like tear some of the shit out and then kind of like fill in the gaps, or, you know, hey, you know, next time go prepared that we can buy some stuff there. And then know better the dimensions of the actual vehicle that we're renting, and then, you know, but
and then obviously we had this kind of weird scenario that happened where, you know, we had told our team that we were going to be back, you know, and then on top of that we're going to show up at this time. We need the team to be there to unload, and just kind of, it came down to where we had to cancel classes. We closed the whole gym that day, and, you know, it didn't go over very well because we had training and we had PT and we had boot camps, but our staff was there really understanding. But those, you know, this could happen, or, you know, let our team know and be ready to maybe have to do that. So
yeah,
you know, it was good.
And like what we went through and what we had to do to get up here, you know, this is what we have to do now. And so yeah, we pulled an all-nighter, drove through the night.
Thank God.
But yeah, so it was just one of those things that, you know, we just have to, I don't know, that's just the lifestyle there.
Of our entrepreneurship, the first couple months of being in business, you know, trying to get things going, and now we have papers, you know, approaching us. We have businesses trying to partner with us. I mean, we're constantly getting these kind of like, hey, we'd love to sit down and have a conversation with you type of, you know, emails or what are DMs, and you know, some of our
we have 2 different Heart Walks.
So we have the Heart Walk, which will be really good. You guys come out for that. It's a great, I think, find it in yourself to do some donating.
On the 21st and the 23rd
for the American Heart Association.
Yeah.
And then and we're gonna be out there warming up and cooling down everybody. We'll be out with Breathe at the bike trek in the Bay Area, and so that'll be really fun. We have a gala that we're going to, and then we'll be in Portugal. You know, want to be on the community, want to be making a difference. We want people to know that there's this gym, you know, throw that out there. And
I was like, what?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. There's this one gym, and we're trying to make a difference not only in the Sacramento community, but really we want to expand through California and through the world if possible, and we want to make a difference.
They should be
there's
doing
no
what
reason
they can to reduce gyms are one of the largest consumers of electricity because of the fact that we need to, power the AC units, TVs, and everything else. So if we were to retrofit all the gyms throughout the United States, and to have these eco power lines and solar panels, windmills, and harnessing the amount of export of carbon monoxide and reduce our overall carbon footprint and cleaning up the environment. So that's important. That's something that we need to make sure that that's what we're trying to get across, and that's why we want to be the United States reach its goal of becoming 100% renewable energy by the year 2030. That's if we get back on track.
Right. Exactly. So we're pushing into this gym here. We don't have a ton of members, but we're not outfitted for that. I mean, that's not our goal, right?
Yeah.
That's always been a big push for us, people who want to help the environment, who want to help their community. But we're pushing forward, and that's part of entrepreneurship is growth. Every day that we come in, say